In the fading light of an ancient Nineveh evening, the air hung heavy with the weight of grief and duty. Tobit, his muscles aching from the day's solemn task, had just returned from burying yet another of his fallen kinsmen, while others turned away from this dangerous deed, for the Assyrian kings had forbidden the burial of the Jewish dead. His neighbors whispered that he was foolish, that he risked everything for these acts of mercy, but his heart knew no other path. The stars were beginning to emerge in the darkening sky as he lay down beside the courtyard wall, seeking a moment's rest. Above him, sparrows nested in the eaves, unseen in the gathering dusk. It was then, in that quiet moment between wakefulness and sleep, that fate struck with cruel precision. Warm droppings from the birds fell directly into his open eyes, and in that instant, his world transformed. The darkness that had been settling over the courtyard became absolute, permanent, a blindness that no physician could cure. This was not merely the story of one man's misfortune. It was the beginning of a divine tapestry being woven across the scattered remnants of Israel. For hundreds of miles away, in the city of Ecbatana, another thread of this celestial design was taking shape. There lived Sarah, daughter of Raguel, whose own trials mirrored Tobit's suffering in their depth of anguish. 7 times she had been wed, and 7 times death had stolen her happiness, each husband claimed by a demon before their marriage could be consummated. 2 souls unknown to each other, united in their unwavering faith despite circumstances that would shake the foundations of lesser believers. Their stories of a father's blindness and a woman's grief would soon intertwine in ways that neither could imagine, through the hidden hand of divine providence. This account emerges from the pages of sacred history during the Assyrian exile, when the northern kingdom of Israel lay scattered across foreign lands. It was a time when God's people questioned their fate, when faith seemed to offer little reward, and when divine silence felt most profound. Yet within this story lies a testament to something greater, the unfailing presence of divine guidance, even when it arrives in the most unexpected form. The Book of Tobit speaks across centuries to touch our modern hearts, reminding us that in our darkest moments, when prayers seem to echo unanswered, the machinery of heaven may already be in motion. It teaches us about faith that persists beyond reason, love that defies earthly logic, and divine intervention that moves in mysterious ways. As we delve deeper into this remarkable narrative, we uncover layers of meaning that resonate with our own struggles, maintaining integrity in a world that often rewards compromise, finding hope when all seems lost, and recognizing the sacred in the ordinary. Through Tobit's blindness, we will see truth. Through Sarah's persistence, we will understand courage. And through their combined story, we will witness the extraordinary ways in which God works through human lives. This is more than a tale from antiquity. It is a mirror reflecting our own challenges with family, faith, and the quest for purpose in times of adversity. It is a testament to the power of unwavering trust, the strength found in familial bonds, and the mysterious ways in which divine providence guides human destiny. Join us as we uncover the hidden secrets within these ancient pages, where nothing is quite as it appears, where faith defies reason, and where God's hand moves silently but surely through the lives of those who trust in His wisdom. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and be blessed. In the ancient city of Nineveh, amid the sprawling might of the Assyrian Empire, lived a man named Tobit of the tribe of Naphtali. Though his people were exiles torn from their homeland, Tobit's heart remained steadfast in devotion to the Lord. Even as others bowed before the golden calves of Jeroboam, Tobit alone would journey to Jerusalem for the festivals, fulfilling the eternal commandments. Living under foreign rule, Tobit found favor with King Shalmaneser, becoming his purveyor. Yet wealth and position never corrupted his spirit. While others feasted on Gentile food, he kept his diet pure, remembering the teachings of his forefathers. His fellow exiles mocked his stringent ways, but Tobit's devotion never wavered. But it was in the darkest hours of night that Tobit's true character shone brightest. When word reached him of any Hebrew lying dead in the marketplace, cast aside like refuse, he would secretly retrieve their bodies after sunset. With his own hands he would dig graves, ensuring proper burial according to their customs. Even when King Sennacherib, in his fury after failing to conquer Jerusalem, began slaughtering the Hebrew exiles and forbade their burial, Tobit continued his holy work. He would hide the bodies in his house by day and bury them under the cover of darkness. Yet fate had a bitter trial in store for this righteous man. One night, exhausted from burying the dead, Tobit slept outside against a wall, unaware that sparrows nested above. As he slept, their droppings fell into his eyes, causing white films to grow over them. He sought help from every physician, but none could heal his blindness. The light that had guided his righteous path was now gone. In this darkness, poverty soon followed. Unable to work, Tobit's family fell into destitution. His wife Anna took to weaving to sustain them, but the shame of dependence weighed heavily upon his soul. In his anguish, Tobit lifted his voice to heaven. "O Lord, you are righteous and all your judgments are just. Remember me, I pray, and do not punish me for my sins or for the sins of my fathers. For we have not kept your commandments, and you have delivered us to plunder, exile, and death. Yet if it pleases you to deal with me thus, command that my spirit be taken from me, that I might be released from the face of the earth and become dust. For it is better for me to die than to live, having heard false reproaches and fallen into deep sorrow." But even in this prayer of despair, Tobit's faith remained unbroken. Though he begged for death, he acknowledged God's righteousness and justice. Little did he know that his cry would be heard, and that through his suffering, a divine plan was about to unfold, one that would bring healing not only to him, but to another tormented soul far away in Media. In the ancient city of Ecbatana, where the mountains touched the clouds and the markets bustled with traders from distant lands, lived a young woman named Sarah, daughter of Raguel. Her beauty was matched only by her devotion to the Lord, yet a dark shadow loomed over her life. Each morning, Sarah would climb to the upper room of her father's house, gazing out at the distant hills where 7 graves lay hidden, each holding a husband who had perished on their wedding night. The demon Asmodeus, a cruel spirit of destruction, had claimed each man before their marriage could be consummated, leaving Sarah to bear the weight of whispered accusations and sideways glances from the women at the well. The women, "Look at her," they would murmur, "the bride of death." Their words cut deeper than blades, yet Sarah held fast to her faith, but even the strongest faith can waver under such burdens. One particularly dark day, after enduring the cruel taunts of a servant girl who accused her of strangling her husbands, Sarah fled to that same upper room where she had spent countless hours in prayer. 7 times she had adorned herself as a bride. 7 times she had approached the marriage bed with hope. 7 times she had been widowed before the rising of the sun. The weight of it all pressed upon her soul like a millstone, and in her anguish she considered ending her life. Yet even in this darkest moment, her faith would not allow such an act. Instead, Sarah stretched out her hands toward the window that faced Jerusalem and poured out her heart in a prayer that would echo through the centuries. "Blessed are you, O Lord my God, and blessed is your holy and honorable name forever. May all your works praise you forever. And now, O Lord, I set my eyes and my face toward you. Command that I be released from the earth and not listen to such reproaches any more. You know, O Lord, that I am innocent of any sin with a man, and I have not defiled my name or the name of my father in the land of my exile." In that moment, though she could not know it, her prayer intertwined with that of another suffering soul far away, Tobit, who also sought deliverance from his afflictions. Their parallel prayers rose like twin flames toward heaven, and the Lord, in his infinite wisdom, had already set in motion a plan that would bind their families together through love, faith, and divine intervention. Sarah descended from the upper room that evening, her shoulders straight, her faith renewed. Though she did not yet know it, her deliverance was already on its way in the form of a young man named Tobias, guided by an angel disguised as a traveler. Her story would soon become not just a tale of sorrow, but a testament to the power of unwavering faith and the Lord's perfect timing. The sun set over Ecbatana, casting long shadows across the city walls. In her chamber, Sarah lit the evening lamps and began her nightly prayers, unaware that her life was about to change forever. For while demons may torment and trials may come, the Lord's protection would prove stronger than any darkness that dared to stand against his chosen ones. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe, and be blessed. In those days, when both Tobit and Sarah's prayers ascended to the glory of God, the Lord dispatched the great angel Raphael, one of the 7 holy angels who present the prayers of the saints before the Most High. But the ways of the Lord are mysterious, and Raphael came not in celestial splendor, but in the humble guise of a man, calling himself Azarias, son of the great Ananias. As Tobit sought a companion for his son's dangerous journey to Media, Raphael stood in the street, appearing as a common traveler, his divine nature veiled from mortal eyes. "I know the way well," he said to Tobias. "I have lodged with our brother Gabael." Such were his words, true, yet concealing his heavenly origin, for angels speak truth even in disguise. Together Tobias and his hidden guardian embarked upon their journey, following the ancient roads that wound through the lands of the Assyrians. They made camp by the great Tigris River, where God's plan would begin to unfold through a seemingly ordinary event. As Tobias went to wash his feet in the waters, a great fish leapt forth, threatening to devour him. "Seize the fish," commanded Raphael, his voice carrying divine authority, though Tobias knew it not. "Take hold of it and draw it up." The young man grasped the mighty creature, pulling it onto the bank. Here the angel revealed sacred knowledge, instructing Tobias to cut open the fish and preserve its heart, liver, and gall. These simple organs, in God's grand design, would become instruments of healing and deliverance. The heart and liver, Raphael explained, when burned, drive away evil spirits from man or woman, never to return. His words carried echoes of ancient power, for just as God used Moses' staff and David's sling, he would use these humble elements for his divine purpose. The gall, he revealed, would cure blindness, a foreshadowing of Tobit's healing. This divine intervention mirrored other great moments when angels walked among men, like the 3 visitors who came to Abraham bearing promises, like the angel who wrestled with Jacob at Peniel, and like the angel who guided the Israelites through the wilderness. Raphael's presence marked a moment when heaven touched earth. The fish itself carried deep symbolism, for as it emerged from the waters threatening death but became an instrument of life, so too would the trials of both Tobit and Sarah be transformed from sources of suffering into vessels of God's healing power. The waters of the Tigris became like the waters of creation, bringing forth that which would restore and make new. Yet through it all, Raphael maintained his mortal disguise, guiding with wisdom, protecting with power, but never revealing his true glory. For this was the way of God's intervention, not in thunder and lightning, but in the quiet presence of a seeming traveler, not in grand proclamations, but in simple instructions about a fish caught in a river. In his presence, we see God's pattern of working through the humble to accomplish the magnificent, through the ordinary to achieve the miraculous, through the disguise to reveal his glory. For in Raphael's mission, we witness how heaven enters earth, not always in clouds of glory, but often in the simple garb of a fellow traveler on the road. In the depths of the Book of Tobit lies a tapestry of divine symbols, each thread weaving a story far deeper than mere happenstance. Consider first the profound symbolism of Tobit's blindness, not merely a physical affliction, but a mirror of spiritual sight. Though his eyes were darkened by sparrow droppings as he slept near the wall, his inner vision remained clear and true. Even in darkness, Tobit maintained his righteousness, giving alms and burying the dead with unwavering devotion. His physical blindness serves as a testament to how God often allows temporary suffering to manifest greater glory. The healing fish emerges from the Tigris River like an ancient mystery. When young Tobias was washing his feet, this creature leaped forth, threatening to devour him. Yet under Raphael's guidance, this instrument of fear became a vessel of divine healing. The fish's gall, bitter yet medicinal, restored Tobit's sight. Here we find echoes of Christ's own words about the sign of Jonah. The bitter medicine that brings healing reminds us of how God's remedies often come wrapped in unexpected packages. In the sacred chambers of Sarah's wedding room, 7 husbands had perished before Tobias, yet this marriage was different, sanctified by prayer and protected by divine intervention. The burning of the fish's heart and liver was not mere superstition, but a sacred ritual that drove away Asmodeus, the demon of lust. This purification speaks to the holy nature of marriage itself, not merely a human contract, but a divine institution requiring spiritual preparation and protection. prayer flows through this narrative like a river of grace, marking time not by human calendars but by divine appointment. Both Tobit and Sarah raised their voices in despair on the same day, at the same hour. Their synchronized prayers reached heaven simultaneously, moving God to send Raphael in response. This divine timing reveals how the Lord orchestrates events beyond our mortal understanding, weaving together the prayers of the faithful into a tapestry of salvation. These symbols echo through other biblical narratives like distant bells calling us to remember. In Tobit's blindness, we see Jacob wrestling with God, wounded yet blessed. In the healing fish, we recall Moses lifting up the bronze serpent in the wilderness, another unexpected instrument of divine healing. The marriage of Tobias and Sarah mirrors the divine love story woven throughout Scripture, from Adam and Eve to the Church as Christ's bride. The smoking incense of prayer, the cleansing power of fish bile, the triumph of faith over fear, these are not merely ancient symbols, but eternal truths that speak to every generation. In Tobit's story, we find our own struggles with blindness, our own need for divine healing, our own journey towards sacred unions blessed by heaven. Through these symbols, God speaks not just to the mind, but to the heart that seeks understanding in the depths of faith. In the city of Ecbatana, beneath a sky painted with stars, young Tobias stood before the home of Raphael, his heart beating with both fear and faith. He knew of Sarah's past, 7 husbands, each claimed by the demon Asmodeus before their marriage could be consummated. Yet where others saw curse, Tobias recognized divine purpose. The words of Raphael, his mysterious companion, echoed in his mind. "Fear not, for she was appointed unto thee from the beginning." Sarah's beauty was matched only by her devotion to God. Despite the whispers that followed her, despite the weight of 7 deaths that hung heavy upon her shoulders, she maintained her faith. When Tobias asked for her hand, she did not flee from the prospect of an 8th marriage, though her hands trembled as she accepted. Raphael, Sarah's father, moved with the careful precision of a man who had dug too many graves for his daughter's husbands. As he prepared the marriage contract, his quill hesitated above the parchment. "Are you certain?" his eyes seemed to ask Tobias. But the young man's resolve was unshakable, fortified by divine instruction and genuine love. On their wedding night, Tobias and Sarah faced their greatest test. Rather than succumbing to fear or passion, they knelt together in their chamber. The smoke from the fish's heart and liver rose around them, a remedy given by Raphael. Their voices joined in prayer, ancient words that echoed the very foundations of marriage. "Blessed art thou, O God of our fathers. Thou madest Adam and gavest him Eve his wife for a helper and support. Of them came the seed of men. Thou didst say, It is not good that man should be alone. Let us make a helper like unto himself." Their prayer acknowledged not just their love, but their place in the divine order. Marriage, they understood, was not merely a union of bodies, but a sacred covenant. As they prayed, Asmodeus, the demon who had claimed 7 lives, fled before the power of their faith and the angel's remedy, driven to the uttermost parts of Egypt. In the days that followed, their marriage revealed the deeper truths of family duty. Tobias learned from Raphael the responsibilities of a father and provider. Sarah, guided by her mother Edna, embraced her role not as one burdened by past tragedy, but as a woman renewed by God's grace. Together they understood that their union was built on 3 pillars: devotion to God, respect for family, and unwavering faith in each other. Their story became a testament to proper marriage preparation, not just in practical matters, but in spiritual readiness. They showed that true love must be grounded in faith, that marriage requires not just physical union, but spiritual harmony. Their triumph over Asmodeus demonstrated that divine power overcomes all evil when approached with reverence, preparation, and trust in God's plan. As the sun rose on their first morning as husband and wife, Raphael's household erupted in joy upon finding them both alive. Their survival was more than just the breaking of a curse, it was living proof that when marriage is approached with proper reverence, preparation, and faith, it becomes not just a union of 2 people, but a reflection of divine love itself. This sacred bond between Tobias and Sarah would become a cornerstone of their family's legacy, teaching future generations that marriage, when built on faith and sustained by prayer, can withstand any trial even the schemes of demons. Their story remains a timeless testament to the power of love, sanctified by faith, and the importance of entering marriage with proper spiritual preparation and unwavering trust in divine providence. In the golden light of dawn, as Tobias and his father Tobit prepared to reward their faithful companion Azarias for his service, the very air seemed to shimmer with divine presence. The mysterious guide who had led Tobias to love, healing, and triumph stood before them, his form beginning to radiate with celestial light. I am Raphael, one of the 7 holy angels who present the prayers of the saints and enter before the glory of the Holy One. The revelation struck father and son like lightning. They fell to their faces, trembling with fear and awe. The being who had walked with them, shared their bread, and guided Tobias through every trial was no mere man, but a divine messenger. Their prostrate forms cast long shadows across the ground as Raphael's voice, now carrying the resonance of heaven itself, filled the air. Peace be to you, fear not, for when I was with you, I was there by the will of God. Bless him and sing praises to him. You saw me eat and drink, but what you saw was a vision. All these days I was manifesting myself to you, but I neither ate nor drank anything. Now I am ascending to the one who sent me. When they raised their heads, Raphael had vanished, leaving behind an emptiness filled with wonder. But his parting words echoed in their hearts. Write down all these things that have happened. Their story was not meant to remain merely a family tale, but a testament to God's intimate involvement in human affairs. In their modest home in Nineveh, Tobit and Tobias began to understand the tapestry of divine providence woven through their lives. What had seemed like random threads of suffering, blindness, demonic persecution, exile, had been transformed into a masterpiece of redemption. The fish that had threatened to devour Tobias became the instrument of healing. Sarah's 7 tragedies paved the way for a perfect union. Tobit's blindness led to spiritual sight. From their story emerged eternal truths, that prayers, though they may seem to echo unanswered in empty rooms, are carried by angels to God's throne, that acts of mercy, like burying the dead, never go unnoticed by heaven, that behind every journey of faith walks an unseen guardian, that marriage, when founded on prayer and faith, can overcome even demonic opposition, that their tale whispered across generations, to the merchant weighing profit against conscience, to the parent waiting in darkness for a child's return, to lovers facing impossible odds, to all who wonder if their prayers ever reach heaven. It spoke of a God who works not just through grand miracles, but through the humble details of daily life, through fish and family, through travel and trade, through marriage and mercy. In their final days, as Tobit and his family recounted their story, they understood that divine providence was not a distant concept but an intimate reality. God's guidance was not limited to burning bushes and parted seas, but walked beside them on dusty roads, sat at their table in disguise, and transformed their deepest wounds into channels of blessing. Their story became more than a tale of ancient days. It became a living testament to faith's persistence, to prayer's power, to love's triumph over evil, and to God's unwavering faithfulness to those who trust in Him. In every age, their experience whispers to seeking hearts that heaven is not so far from earth, that angels may walk among us unrecognized, and that every life, no matter how ordinary it may seem, is part of a divine plan more wonderful than we dare imagine. As we conclude this journey through Tobit's story, we see how these ancient words mirror the deepest truths of human psychology, our fears, our hopes, our need for divine guidance in times of darkness. The Book of Tobit shows us that anxiety, depression, and family struggles are not modern inventions. Through Tobit's blindness, we see depression. In Sarah's isolation, we recognize anxiety. In Tobias's journey, we find the courage to face our fears. If these insights into the human soul have resonated with you, join us at the Bible Psychology, where we bridge ancient wisdom with modern understanding. Subscribe to the Bible Psychology for weekly explorations of how biblical narratives illuminate the human psyche. Each episode reveals how sacred texts speak to our deepest psychological needs and highest spiritual aspirations. Join our growing community where faith meets understanding. Here, we explore how divine wisdom provides answers to life's psychological challenges. Together we discover how Scripture addresses anxiety, relationships, personal growth, and emotional healing. Remember, as Raphael revealed to Tobit, sometimes our greatest trials are pathways to profound healing, both spiritual and psychological. Until next time, may you find strength in ancient wisdom and peace in modern understanding.